live now.
Yes, you did.
I did. We're live. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
And I'll go straight into showing Stuart because, you know, just want to get into the conversation and the. You know, Stuart. You know.
Yeah. Well, welcome, guys. It's kind of a sad live topic, but hey, we're here to discuss.
/ celebratory for the
Yes.
life that has, you know, is always the spin on it, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're just hoping to hear your stories and things like that, and just kind of commiserate.
Well, do you want to post on the pillar thing saying, tell us your stories or anecdotes with Nichelle?
I already did that.
Boom! There you go. It's as if you
Yeah.
know what we're like.
Yeah. It's already pinned, so. But yeah, so welcome back, guys, and it's the start of a new week, and kind of a shitty situation to lead the weekend with, but hey, it is what it is, and yeah, we're gonna hopefully have a good time remembering stories about her and just favorite moments of Uhura or just Nichelle. So yeah, hopefully you guys have some stories of meeting her at conventions and stuff. We want to hear them, and yeah, all we got is Shatner, Koenig, and Takei left. Yes. Two absent friends, absolutely. All right, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. 64 of you here, and we're already at 50 likes. That's amazing. If you haven't checked out the kind of tribute video that Fleet Pod did for us yesterday, it is uploaded, so you can check that out as well. It's about 3 minutes. And yeah, he did a really good job with it. So one of our moderators, everybody, well, you should recognize the name Fleet Pod. But yeah. All right. Oh, don't forget, there's a join button. Go click it and take a look at the options for that, because it helps out the analytics quite a bit. I'm wearing my Uhura inspired earpiece. Can do that for this live. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. 68 likes. Wow, you guys are doing really good on the likes. So thank you. Keep it up, guys. Yeah.
Right, I got an idea for a poll as well. I do.
Yeah, okay. Well, Eric Martin, $10. So thank you. Two favorite scenes. One, when she took the helm, I think, in Court Martial. And two, Mr. Wonderful in Star Trek 3. Yeah. Mr. Adventure. It's not Mr. Wonderful. It's Mr. Adventure. I'll have Mr. Adventure eating out of my hands there. Yeah. Cool. All right. I just don't know what to say, man. I'm just kind of open to hear your stories, and you know, it's actually funny because I was going through my memories as I tend to do each day, and this very day, in 2019 in Vegas, we were getting things signed by her in Vegas, original Trekyards prints, and that was quite strange to see show up in my memories for today, but very apropos at the same time.
And it's sad because we only had so much funds, so we can only get so many, basically what I had in available cash, so we only got a couple. Yeah. So I got mine, and like, you know, I always thought, well, we should get more, but it's expensive, there's only so many you could do. So yeah, I knew it'd be a last chance, but weren't able to go to an ATM. Wasn't really a functional thing there and then. So
yeah, she was there was like her farewell to her as well.
But yes, I've now shared another poll.
What's the poll? Take a look for you guys. Do you remember Love Nichelle Uhura more from TOS or the movies? Interesting question.
Yeah. What would your answer be?
Honestly, the first image that comes to mind is TOS, but I think some of her better moments were in the movies. So
that's why it's a question.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Because all the cast develop in the movies a lot, but she's also literally barely in one. I wonder what the behind the scenes reason was to not even include her really in, to have her stay on Vulcan, or Space Dock then end up in Vulcan. Like, why couldn't they have her there for the entire film?
For Star Trek 3, yeah.
It's like she's just goodbye all.
Well, there might have been something she had to do.
I assume there was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was originally in the script and cut out for whatever reason, or I don't know.
That said, there's only so many lines to all the rest, and if you give Uhura, she'll be sitting there for all the time not saying anything anyway. So I guess maybe they thought, well, at least they gave a great scene around that.
It's a good question, actually. I never really considered that before, but yeah, you're right.
Because they're all in all of them, except that one where she doesn't go with them.
Yeah.
She could have. So, yeah. And it's doubly sad because, and this is, I know it's what the fans want, but at any point in the last 20 years they could have brought Nichelle back. You know what I mean? In any capacity, and it's does CBS not care that these people are not going to be around and you'll never be able to get Shatner back, you'll never be able to get Kirk back? None of the Kirks will ever match up to James T. Kirk, William Shatner, and you've now forever lost the best Uhura, or at least the definitive Uhura. You could have had her for years. At least Walter Koenig did fan films. Like people asked. I mean, she did as well, but like he did a couple more. Like she was in the world, but I wish more fans had more money at the time. They could have keep paying them to do more things. Because if I was a multi-millionaire in 2002, I would certainly would have thrown $1 million at Nichelle to come back and do like 5 shorts. And are you kidding? Yes. I mean, they would have said yes. They would have done it. It would have been amazing.
It would have been great. Yeah, I mean, we did get to see her in Prodigy, but it was just lines from.
Well, we get to see Uhura in Prodigy.
Well, yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but I don't get to see Nichelle in Prodigy, which is sad. but at least she was brought back the most recent, just as a.
Exactly.
Well, and Nimoy, but it certainly makes that scene more poignant now.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Scotty came back, Odo, Leonard Nimoy, and Uhura, and Gates McFadden. And now all of them are dead except for Gates McFadden, and 3 of them are dead at the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Weird.
That's weird.
Sci-Fi Nation throws in $2. Good to see you. She'll keep Mr. Adventure eating out of her hand. Yes, that was one of my favorite scenes. Plus, that's one of the first times you see that phaser as well, which is one of my favorite phasers. So, yeah.
And I was thinking, because I've got my film that I'm hopefully able to release this coming weekend. Do I dedicate it to her? Because it's a TNG film. It's got nothing to do with her. Is that the thing I could, should, would do? I don't know.
Maybe,
it's also not a very happy film. Things are lost in it, which it can be more poignant as well. But should the in memoriam be relevant? Like, should it match with the content, or are they so separate that it doesn't matter? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I have a film literally that can come out in the next 7 days. That's right there. I don't know.
That's an odd question, and that's one I've thought about since yesterday, actually, about if they're going to dedicate the first episode of Stranger World Season 2 to her, or if they're going to throw something on Lower Decks before it airs. Like, it's one of those tricky questions. I don't know. And yeah, the tone of the episode, plus also the era, like it's kind of a odd thing to kind of decide. So that would make a good poll, actually.
Like, I know it's a bit ridiculous, but it makes you want to make a film just to have the character of Uhura be mentioned heavily in it. You know, because she's alive in TNG, so just it makes me want to do like a little thing where Admiral Uhura sends us here, and it's like a 3-minute thing, and it's just like all about Uhura being epic in the era. Just like now that would be in memoriam,
Yeah.
But that's a lot of extra like thinking work. Good idea. That's a bit. I won't say forced, although it is forced.
Yeah. Strange New World should definitely dedicate an episode to her. I'm sure they will. I'm sure that will definitely be a thing.
Because we haven't had one of the legends pass since Nimoy, and Nimoy was before all the new shows.
Yeah.
There's only so many of them. So.
But they did a perfect send off to him in.
Yeah, Beyond.
Like. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that was okay. You're right. That was well handled, obviously. But like, how do you approach this? Because you can't not do something. I mean, really, should Lower Decks like scramble and change their first episode? I mean, the wrong tone, but it's the first Trek. I mean, or I would like them to film something. Honestly, I'd like really, if I was them, I would say the new Uhura actress, get her a TOS uniform, film something on Stranger World sets, as a little like 1 minute short for the web, like do something like that. You know what I mean? Like make something now because you don't have Legends passing. Ever like, it's been a decade, so that's what I would do if I was them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. It's a weird thing to think about though. Like it just I have no answer for you, unfortunately.
That's why I'm asking the question. Because
Yes.
this is not the sort of stuff we tend to go into. We try to keep very focused. We don't do political. We don't do particularly at the time stuff. We're not against it, but we just don't. It's not for us, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of antithetical. We did it for Aaron Eisenberg because we both had a personal connection to him. But in the show, there's so much beyond, like generational wise. I mean, I would hazard to guess several billion people knew Nichelle Nichols as Uhura. Like maybe just 2, but 2 billion people at least knew TOS. I mean, it's such a wide phenomenon. I mean, billions of people have seen Star Trek. Not even a doubt in my mind, even if it's one episode because of their dad, right? I'm going to the very small limit of they've seen an episode or seen a clip, but billions have seen it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was her biggest character for sure. Uhura. Like she did star in some movies back in the day, and things like that, but never had anything that stood out. I think her real life work with like helping with NASA and stuff was some way that some people might have been introduced to her. But I just think anybody that knew her from NASA would definitely know Star Trek. So I think she is like Star Trek is what everyone thinks of.
And that's actually the most amazing. That's a really interesting question because all the other cast, DeForest Kelley, people knew for westerns. Obviously, those anyone younger wouldn't know from westerns. That's Shatner did a whole load of things. He's known for lots of things. Nimoy, many things. Less, but definitely a fringe on some things. Koenig did Babylon 5, so that's definitely a thing. And James Doohan, not really, but did James Doohan and Nichelle Nichols, were they really super mega pigeonholed? Because I can't think of anything else I've ever seen her in, personally, except Uhura.
Well, there's nothing I've seen her in, but I've seen clips of some of the movies she did back in the 60s, where she was like a strong black woman and she was like a pimp essentially, and she had girls under her that,
wow.
She was kind of a badass. But that was before Star Trek, I think. And
but I mean, they all did something else after. Did she literally only do as the role?
Yeah,
I
don't know.
don't think she did anything else.
Yeah, I should maybe check her IMDb and see what's going on with that, because that's a good question. I don't know her from anything else.
I mean, as with all these things, you do Star Trek, you're set for life in conventions.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett Wang did a convention every single weekend, for several years. That's how he made his entire income, and that's an amazing way of doing things. You go and do things, and people say they love you, and etc. And people don't need the money like William Shatner. It allows people to see you who get that massive appreciation. You are making thousands of people happy just by turning up. That's it. That's amazing. And so, and I would love to have been around in the 70s when they looked like themselves, or 80s they looked like themselves, early 90s looked like themselves, like the original them, and gone to a convention, because the small conventions were, when they're so small, you could obviously talk to them. It was a couple hundred people in a they all looked and felt like themselves. They had James were crazy like black beard hair and like a weird look, and like that would have been an amazing thing to go to an old convention where they were themselves, full of life, full of beans. They'd just done the movies that they've got
Yeah, she's done a lot of small appearances and things, a lot of voiceover work. There are a few movies, but nothing that's notable, really.
But I think you're right. I think it really was that she inspired a subset of a subset of that, like the industry of the world grabbed that.
Female and also black. So I mean, that's like a double.
And space, feel black and high achieving space, because she was always a very professional woman. To the point of you would never say, well, like to the T. So if that's the legacy you're leaving, which it is, if you do this thing for a couple of years, people like you, and then it inspires people, and you can go around and talk to people who you inspired, and that's great. That's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. You know, I'm neither woman, black, or astronaut, but I'm still inspired by her.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. And NZ Fade says, "Did you two ever meet her in person?" Yes, together in 2019 when we were in Vegas. It was today, actually, this day, and I just posted pictures on my Facebook because they popped up in my memories of her signing our prints. We got to talk to her for a minute or two, and she was very hard of hearing, so she's like tucking her ear in the one because Samuel was talking to her about the ship.
Well, she was interested. Like, she was actually asking questions and engaging.
There's video of it too. It's in my captain's log for that trip where she was asking about the ship, and she was like, "What had her signing?" So, yeah, I mean, we did meet her, so that was very, very cool. And that was like right before her. Well, it was her farewell tour.
Which
so
that that got then postponed for 2 years because of COVID, and then she had a real post. I'm thankful as hell she lasted because I thought COVID might be, but no, she. Although that's sad because the last 2 years of her life she was left in isolation. That said, if you're a hard to move mega retiree, you're probably not going to get out much anyway if you're that old and retired. So I don't know if her last few years would have been doing things anyway. But I'd met her a couple of times. She didn't come to the UK that much. There was one, and I've got the picture. I'll show. I looked terrible in the picture. I have to do something about that. She looks phenomenal. Before she got iller, so it was about 10 years ago, and she looked radiant as ever. And I remember that I had met her when I was younger, but when you're younger and they aren't old, they're gonna live forever. Like in the context of there's no I don't need to meet them right now necessarily. So I don't think I actually ever said hi to her until that other time. I never actually got to speak to her until we signed, because my priorities when I was a teenager were more the photo shoots, and we can't be dealing with the long queues. But then, if they don't come to the UK again, then those chances could be like 7 or 8 years apart. Dad did get to see her at the Star Trek event, the last big destination that was here, where I got to meet Sneak, Mark and Green and the cast, and she was there for a brief amount of time. And she was a bit ill on one of the nights, so she could only be there 2 of the 3 days. And if you've got bookings for one day and it becomes 3 to 2, that created a massive overflow for everything. And so they said, we will do photo shoots because they're obligations, as they are. And if you do signings, she might. I think she spent like an hour of like 10 or 15 of the 2 days actually at her booth. The rest of it was in photo shoots. But she got every single one done. She stayed late, she did them all, and Dad got one of those pictures. And they were sold out just after he got them, so he was one of the last people to get those in the UK. So that was I was at her last event, I didn't get to, but Dad got to. I said to him, no, whatever it costs, get that photo.
Yeah.
Do that photo. Don't think about it, just do it.
You said that to me before too, like.
Yes, I have.
And I'm not one for getting photos with celebrities, really.
Because I could have got Renee, several times. I think it was at a convention. I got a sign with him. He wanted me to donate one of his books, and I didn't have anything with me spare. I spent it all on getting his autograph, and I could have got a photo shoot then and there. I didn't. I should have, etc. So get them all while you can. And I did an event here just recently, and I was like, I haven't got that much money right now. I'm going to go into overdraft just so I can get these 3 people, because they might not be around anymore. It's a sad thing, but if you don't get those opportunities, Tim Russ, what if he hasn't come back to the UK for 6 more years? It's a serious jump of ill health or whatever. So it's important.
I think she was at one of the Toronto treks I went to when I was quite young. I think maybe the same one that I got my technical manual signed by James Doohan. I think she was just like two down from him at the sign. But back then I wasn't like super interested in meeting a lot of people. Actor wise, it's like, okay, that's cool that she's there, awesome. But getting James Doohan to sign the technical manual was more on my priority list at the time. So yeah, I've only met her the once really where I talked to her, and that was in Vegas. So let's see what you guys are saying. Andre Benson, $2. I'm amazed that her Dr. King story wasn't told more. Well, I thought it was told quite a lot. I've heard it multiple times.
Yeah, I think that's her most told story. I think she probably told that every single convention she's been to, probably for 40 years. Honestly, because you 3 days, because I did Destination and FedCon back to back, and I had the exact same questions for Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. because of course two audiences write apart the same things, so you hear the same answers, the same questions. It's a big story. So yes.
Yeah. George Mangrum, $10. Thank you so much. And Uhura short trek with Celia and Zoe would be a nice idea. She is my favorite character in all of sci-fi. Rest in peace to a true legend.
Celia and Zoe. Oh, Saldana.
Celia is the one from Strange New Worlds, and Zoe, yeah. BJ.
Although doubly sad because they just made Uhura's all her parents dead.
That's true.
As I said at the time, fuck you, Stranger Worlds. Go fuck yourself. What a horrible thing to do.
Well,
Thanks.
BJ Turan, member for 22 months at the rank of Commander. Thank you, BJ. Thanks for the tributes. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it. Yeah. Mark Lawrence, $5. Just showing my support. Was nice to finally meet her in 2009 in Vegas. Yeah, Mark was with us. I don't think he was with us in line at the time we got ours signed. He was with us for a few times, but I think he was doing his own thing.
We talked to her.
Thanks for joining us, Mark.
We talked to her sister lots. Wasn't her daughter, I think.
Might have.
I think it was her younger sister. Much younger.
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah.
Because we actually got on quite well with.
Yeah.
Them.
Yep.
It's nice.
Snoopy McQueen, $5. Nichelle used her power with Trek to inspire women and people of color, not just blacks and Asians, Latinos and Arabics, by the thousands to join NASA. Yes, her NASA initiative was quite substantial as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's more about the combination, because yes, she fits into a certain demographic, but she also represents the idea of the non-average demographic, I suppose. But because her personality was so wonderfully enlightening and lovely and infectious that she inspired people, you know. I
love what you signed on your print. It was like blessings always in all ways. Blessings always in all ways. I was like, that's such a nice thing to. And yeah, for her age, like her that signature is like pretty damn great, actually.
Yeah, I'll tell that story a bit later because that's kind of my my other story.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scoop.
No, it's fine. I'll tell it longer and more detailed. It's fine.
I just don't have any personally with her, so. AC Costello, $2. Nichelle was my first Vulcan in the late '80s. First Vulcan. Oh, Volcon. Gotcha.
Well, in the chat right now, can we get a wonderful spam of did you ever get to meet Nichelle? Yes or no? Yeah. In the chat,
please. We do want to hear your stories. If she's ever said anything that meant a lot to you, or if she, just tell us if you met her and how it was.
There's one story that I remember. I wasn't part of, but I saw the videos. I think it was at the 2 FedCons before I went. And obviously we all knew she was in ill health for at least sort of 5 to 7 years, and I'm amazed that she was soldiering to conventions long past most people would have stopped, and gone into retirement home and just chilled. Like, my God, the stamina and the eagerness and the love, that's like the legacy that wow, amazing. And she was at FedCon, and I think it was after her stroke, which affected her speech. That was a big turning point of visible ill health before the dementia and short-term memory came in. But she was doing a talk, or she was talking on stage with Rob Picardo, where she came on, started doing her little, can't speak properly, fully. She's trying to say something, then she's kind of goes on a tangent, and the tangent goes on a tangent, and you can kind of tell the audience is thinking what's happening. And Rob Picardo comes in kind of like as a shepherd saying, as gently as possible, let's get off the stage, and let's and she's like, no, let me talk, and then she ends up swapping this big I think it was this quite wonderful little monologue speech thing, and Picardo's there oh damn. It's like she's not all there, but when she can zone in even like that, it's like and then she was still wanted to be there, and God, if we were that sprightly at 89, doing conventions around the world and.
She's a showman.
Yeah.
Andre Benson, $5.
Thanks, Andre.
I guess it was just from non-Star Trek fans that didn't know her Dr. King story. Of course, the true fans know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Martin, $5. She was classy. She didn't get into the bickering about Shatner on set in TOS.
Yeah. Which actually is sad because we didn't ever hear her side. Like, if they ever go
Yeah.
into it, you can never hear the side. Just saying.
Yeah. Fleet Pod. Well, you will be remembered with honor. This is fantasy. And I want to, while he's here, I want to give a special thank you to Fleet Pod for throwing up that tribute video yesterday, throwing that together. It kind of was all of us in the Section 31 group, which is our like moderator group, that worked on it. But Fleet Pod did the video, and he did a fantastic job. So thank you, Fleet Pod.
Well done.
Kevin Scott, 76, $2. She acted for Mark Zykery's Space Command in 2020. Yes, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I wish I was rich a few years ago. I would have invited her to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one or two fan things on her IMDb. So
I mean, lots. I look forward to talk about them a little bit. But yeah, did you ever meet her? Yes or no? Last night in the chat. Let's see if we have any. Let's see if we can have an overpour of. Did you or not?
Well, we got a few of those. I'll go through those.
Yep.
Bill Barkley said no, he hadn't. George Mangrum, no. James Smick, no, unfortunately. Dave L, no. David Cox met her. Sci-Fi Nation, no. Verpine, no. Raj, no. Plutopia, yes. DB Mac, no, sadly. Kirian, sadly not. Wow, a lot of people haven't.
And it's interesting because she went to hundreds of conventions. She's one of the people that you associate with doing conventions, her and Walter. I kind of don't know how you can't have met her. You're almost like actively avoiding her if you haven't met her, you know? Like, it's easy not to have met Patrick Stewart because he doesn't do them, which is, again, letting people down in a sense. Like, no one's ever going to get a chance to meet him because he doesn't do conventions. Shatner, he's done them. You can meet him. You should. We've all met Shatner. You know, when I see him again, I'm going to get another picture of him, even though I don't need another picture of him, just so I can have another picture of him because, you know, get it while you can. Appreciate it while you can. It's important.
Yeah. I've met Shatner 3 times, so.
Yeah. And I want to do Ticonderoga, but it's fucking obscenely expensive with him there.
Yes.
It's insane. I think like what, $5,000 for us both to go. Yeah, the flights obviously.
Yeah. All everything included would be pretty expensive. Yeah.
And neither of us could absolutely at all afford that. But it's like such a unique opportunity. We can't kickstart a Let's Meet Shatner, but we can't give up, you know, all that.
Yeah. Well, BJ Tehran, $5. The Uhura Art House TOS scale figure is a great part of my Star Trek Star Wars action figure collection. Ooh, Art House. I don't know if I've seen those.
I wonder if X06 are going to swap tracks and do the Nichelle Nichols Uhura figure, like put that more to the head of the queue as a tribute. Yeah. Because that'd be nice to get that out. But then it's like, is that profiteering or supporting? It's like, I would take it as we want to then offer this thing, but you could say, oh, it's them trying to get money because they're saying, oh, look, it's a bit harsh, but, you know. I think that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Last 3 are going to Vegas this year. Ugh. Yeah. I would love to go to Vegas again, but they moved the venue and stuff like that. The Rio was such a great setup.
God, can you imagine, that panel, like, the last 3 on stage together?
I don't know if that would happen.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. But can you imagine if, like, you actually got them? Because, I mean, fireworks might explode. But if you're already, like, 87, 88, and 91, you know, fireworks is fine.
Yeah.
But also, let's be honest, the last Mission Vegas thingy, they cancelled, like, over half the guests. Or a huge amount. So I have zero trust in... They were announced a year ago. They've cancelled more time. You know, it's no one's necessarily fault. It was COVID's fault, but don't be going assuming that.
Yeah, exactly.
Although it's weird because the Vegas thing, it's a very poor site with telling me stuff. I feel like
Yeah, the whole thing
Oh, it's
doesn't look
this
that.
month. Wow.
Yeah, it's always in August.
Hmm. Bailey's Hotel. That is a very cheap sounding name. It's not the Hilton, the Bellagio, or Caesars. The Bailey's.
Or the Rio.
But at least Rio has, like, you know that from Hollywood films. The Rio's been in films. The Bailey. That's just a, you know, it's like saying, oh god, what's that brand?
The Motel 6.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
The Motel 8, whatever it is. Snoopy McQueen, $2. I met Michelle and Mr. Shatner at Trek Vegas in 2016. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know.
If we were more rich, Joe, we'd make things a lot easier.
No one in the history of the planet has ever said that. You are unique, my friend.
Oh, thanks. Because there's so many of these things, like, they should be done, but... Aye.
Okay, Ron Corell, $2. Thank you both for doing this. Much needed. No problem. We got a platform that has a great community, so we figured people will want to talk about it. So let's open up the channels. Hailing frequencies are open, as you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Got my earpiece in. They're open. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we want to hear your stories. Anything, you know, when you met her, if there's something she said to you that inspired you, or if you know, we want to hear those kind of stories and document those for posterity.
But I asked a poll, and we're at 171 votes. Very interesting reaction. I asked, do you remember /love Nichelle and Uhura more from the TOS show or the movies? And I'll wait until you can hear me again.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, the answer is 54% TOS, 46% the movies. That is very, very even.
That's
yeah.
I really expected it to be more TOS based. But...
I thought it'd be more movies, honestly.
Oh, really?
Well, like I thought the movies expand on more of a generations of fans.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be anyone from sort of 60s down to 30s versus TOS might be a certain more brand of.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everyone loves them all in 4. I kind of thought it would be. Right, I'll do another poll.
Jasper Jedi throws in $10. Thank you so much. Rest in peace, Nichelle Nichols. Amazing woman and such a great character. Yeah, I love how there was like 50 years of Uhura and we didn't find out her first name until 2009. Yoda.
Well, she knew her name back in the 60s. I just didn't see it on screen.
Yeah, we just never. It was kind of rumored that might be your name in some of the beta canon and stuff, but it was never.
I'm sure because I mean, Gene talked about it at conventions. So like,
yeah.
But obviously before the internet, you know, oh, Gene said it this. I know he did say it, but how could you? It's a rumor like every other. Yeah, she knew her name.
Yeah, weirdest thing too. Just talking about it here, and the picture of her at in Vegas in 2019 just came up on my Alexa because it's daily memory, and she was doing this like she's listening in on our conversation right now. That was wow. BJ, $2. Art Asylum TOS Uhura figure is very nice. That's one I don't have. I don't have all the Monster Maroon characters from Diamond Select, which is Art Asylum. Do I have I don't even think I have a TOS figure of her. Ooh. Ooh, new poll.
This is kind of a trick question, but I don't want to go any more trick with a trick question.
Nichelle, did you love her or like her? Liked her.
We'll see. But I
One
can.
of those things. Her character didn't get a lot of chances to shine, really.
Yeah.
Especially in TOS, she was very much sidelined a lot, and even in the movies to a certain degree.
Well, and that's where it really is Nichelle that raised the profile.
Yep.
Because we knew she was lovely, because you could feel it radiating from the character, from what the character there was.
And when all the stories I hear of people meeting her in person, she was just so welcoming and warm and loving, and so inspiring with what she said and things. It's just wow.
It is a weird one, because you can still do a simple job beautifully, you know.
Mhm.
Like, she had a poise and a certain, you did not question for a single second that she was the top-ranking communications specialist on one of the 12 best starships in the Federation.
Yeah.
Or the flagship, depending on
what you want to believe.
Depending on what you want to believe. And that's
Yeah.
and there's there's something to that, because you look at, no offense to the Discovery crew, but you look on the bridge crew, like, he's a guy.
Yeah.
He's an actor that's on the set.
Well,
that was Arium. It was an actor in makeup. It's not the same. For whatever reason, it's not the same.
one of my
No offense to them.
one of my and Sylvia's favorite memories of Uhura as the character is in a TOS episode, and she's underneath the console, like laying on the ground fixing. There's like the bell and the circuitry and all that shit, and she's fixing it. And Spock pokes his head in and says, "So how?" Asks her a question about how long it's going to take. She's like, "It'll go a lot faster if you leave me alone," essentially. And even Spock's like you have more knowledge here than I do, and that was saying quite a bit. I can't remember the episode, but it was such a good scene.
It also helped she rocked red.
Oh yeah.
Like, just as a style, like, she had great style. Not everyone suits everything. Like, I don't think, and it's not to their discredit, but I don't think the Cage 3 actresses suit their uniforms particularly well. Like, you don't think of that, but Nichelle in the red, it's a really great look.
Well, she did start in yellow in Where No Man Has Gone Before, but that was just one episode, so.
I wasn't even going to mention it because it was one episode.
But I thought it was worth mentioning, so people know
Yeah,
what we're talking about.
You always think that's a Photoshop. I know. I'm sure everyone's brain's like, that's a whip. Oh, it's real.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Matt Boardman throws in $10. I've shared with you guys before, but I will never forget the time she kissed me on the cheek at a luncheon at Doug's house. Wow. She was always kind, gracious, and had a special energy about her. Wow. That's an awesome story. Thank you, Matt, for sharing that.
Because there's a huge difference between meeting them as a fan and meeting them anywhere else.
Yes.
And I certainly wish I'd had a personal experience. I've had that with George and Patrick.
They both kissed you on the cheek?
No. My own versions of the story. So I've had, and I mean, few and far between, but it's nice when you have something that is off the convention desk. It's God, it makes you it's sad 'cause it makes you really appreciate what you've had, but also makes you regret the things you haven't.
Yeah.
When these things happen.
Yeah. Andre Benson, $2. It was that Apollo episode, I think. Who Mourns for Adonis? I'm not sure.
Maybe. I thought Spock was down with them in that episode, so he wouldn't have been there.
No, he wasn't. It was Scotty's girlfriend at the time, Chekhov, Kirk, Mr. Security Guy, I think.
Mr. of
Spock,
the Week.
Spock wasn't on the planet on the Apollo one.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and that could be it, because I think communications were being blocked by.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll talk about a fan film work for a minute, because she did support that. Have you seen all the fan film productions? Which actually she didn't do anywhere as many as Walter Koenig, but you've seen of Gods and Men. Do you remember of Gods and Men enough to talk about?
Seen of Gods and Men. It's been a long time since I've watched it, so not really. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know if I've seen anything else that she's been in.
Because for a second I thought she'd done one of the Stranger Phase 2s, but no, that was Koenig and George. So really, her big one is the big one, but that's pretty much one of the biggest reasons I like of Gods and Men so much. A, for Tim Russ coming back and making that character more than one scene, in essence. But the fact that Uhura is the main character of that film. She is the main focal person. I wish she was in uniform for more of it personally, but that is like her best performance in terms of like she's given so much screen time and so much characterization. So, wish it wasn't all alternate, but like that's her really able to act, and she had all of her marbles. She's young, she's great. I wish they'd done more, obviously, but that's the That's why I wish camera tech had evolved 10 years earlier, because we could have had that stuff earlier when they're all younger. And now you wouldn't even think you'd get a Discovery cast or Strange World cast. Like, the world's so different, but back then you could get the actors. So we're never going to get these guys in fan films giving these bonus stories, but then we could. So I wish that happened earlier. But at least we have that as a thing, because that's like amazing performance of her, and she's really wonderful in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch Of Gods and Men again. I haven't watched that in quite a long time.
It's her movie, Koenig and George both got a
continues episode.
No, because it's a phase 2, and then she got the Gods and Men.
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry, phase 2.
Yeah. And it's kind of surprising. I guess I don't know why. I guess Vic didn't want to do that, but I don't know why Vic didn't try and get Koenig or George. I mean, probably Koenig maybe. It's a bit late for that, but it's like you had everything. But I guess you'd already kind of done it.
Yeah. Matt Borman says Of Gods and Men was his first Star Trek fan film that he worked on. Very cool.
And you haven't worked on any in the last 2 years, Matt, have you? Nope.
He's overworked.
Not by me. Fucking real life, man.
BJ Turon, $5. There was a hailing frequencies are open quip on the last Bond film, No Time to Die, by the female CIA agent in Cuba at the Spectator party. At the Spectre party, not Spectator. I hate dyslexia. 5-0 Charlie, $5. Just picked up the hair for my custom Lego Uhura last week. Then I heard the news. This hit me harder than I thought it would. By the way, my first celeb crush. Ooh, there you go. Sorry to hit you hard. And yeah, I mean, I gotta say, in Mirror Mirror, seeing that belly button, surprised they slipped that by the censors. That wasn't allowed, really. But damn.
That is true. She is rocking it as far as legally they could go, and probably further, yeah. And with a bladed weapon.
Actually further. They weren't supposed to see belly buttons at all. But she had quite a tummy. So where can people see Gods and Men? A lot of people are asking.
Search it. Google, internet, YouTube. It's not hard.
Yeah.
I did manage to get a DVD while... Sorry, I actually Scott sent me a couple of DVDs, which was nice. Although one got smashed in the post, which means the limited edition, like, I got a few. Oh, one's destroyed. Well, there's only a few of them. One got destroyed in post. Great.
Yeah, he sent me one too.
Nice.
Fleet Paw, $2. I'll catch the rest on rewatch. Work calls. Live long and prosper, guys. All right, thank you, Fleet Paw. And again, thank you so much for your help yesterday with that. Awesome job.
But I will say that I've already started putting. Now I'm obviously absurdly overworked, right, in terms of like all the things I'm trying to do. I've already put feelers out to try and not the originals, but the not original. I'm trying to get the because in Picard they did have a USS Uhura. It's not visible, but it is there.
Yes.
As as canon as that is. Well, it's okay. So I'm going to try and incorporate the ship that they picked to be the Uhura, which is a Star Trek Online design, into a film as the USS Uhura and mention it. Because of how that's in the future, like, that's quite... I can't do it in most films. I do want to now have a USS Uhura. I was thinking I should put one in anyway now, but I was like, oh, they've already got one. I can use that.
You could do a USS Nichols, too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. Alyssa Jericho says, in Transformers Bumblebee, they use her voice in some of the scenes. Yes, when he's flipping through the radios and television to talk. Incoming communication and stuff like that. Hear her in there. So, yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Not in the Doll movie, the 2007 one. Yes, the first one. Let's see. 112 votes on the poll, guys. Go check it out if you haven't voted yet. If you're just joining us and haven't hit like, hit that like button. We have 163. I'd like to get 175 if possible. And yeah, keep sharing your memories or things, scenes, favorite Uhura scenes, whatever you'd like to talk about.
This is a conversation, so if you don't say things, then we can't bounce off you. So do say things.
Exactly.
But we're not going to go for the full 2 hours. It's
No, it's not sustainable, I don't think.
No.
So yeah, just share your favorite scenes. Like somebody had mentioned had messaged me and said about the Alameda scene in Star Trek 4, looking for the nuclear vessels. And then the one that was in our tribute video, Mr. Adventure, that's one of my favorites as well.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about the one from TOS with her kind of putting Spock in his place, that she was more of an expert with the communication system than he was.
Yeah, I'd like to know what was going on in her head, as in the character of Uhura's head, when she decided to add a grey streak to her hair and then remove it for a bit in Star Trek 5. Because as we know, hair colour, lack of hair is all a choice in the future. So that was a choice. Yeah.
Bill Barkley says, was she in Trials and Tribulations? Yes. Actually, when Sisko was talking to Kirk, she kind of turned from her communication station and gave Sisko like an up and down look, like, ooh, what an attractive man. One of those looks. I don't think she said anything in Trials and Tribulations, but there was she was on full screen, so yeah.
Oh yeah, and Dave mentions the Star Trek 6 sequence with the books, the Klingon, you can't understand Klingon. That is certainly an issue. It's we're going to make a joke by literally reducing our comms officer to I can't speak Klingon, the race we've been at war with for 40 years, who my job would have been to communicate with and hear things of. She's like, Dark Dick Juke. I mean, it's a wonderful scene, but if you break it down even remotely, it's broken on every level. Books and can't say Klingon. Like, it's so funny it works, but it's entirely broken.
And the stupid line of the universal translator would be recognized. That's just dumb. Beyond dumb. It would have been better if communications were down or they couldn't broadcast because they'd be pinpointed or something. With the universe, I don't know. You could come up with a technobabble line, but the I think it was an ADR line too. The universal translator will be recognized. Okay. But it was still a funny scene, I gotta say. But it made no sense for her character at all. None. Yes, her singing ability a few times in TOS. So, and the fan dance.
Which doesn't work on me. Far too old to do a fan dance, in my opinion.
Not in the future.
No, just in how it's presented.
Yeah.
That's just me.
But she was quite talented in other areas as well, as most Star Trek actors are. Like Avery Brooks is a pianist. Like he can just hop on the piano and just play whatever, just go. To the point where in the documentary The Captains, Shatner had him do all the music for that. So all the piano music throughout the entire documentary is just him watching it and doing the music for it. Scott Bakula is also a concert pianist. They've all well, not all of them, but most of them have other talents. Like Robert Picardo is a singer, and so does Jerry Ryan, and so love when they can show that stuff off. That's weird because Scott Bakula never got a chance to show that on Enterprise.
Oh boy.
AC Costello, $2. What episode did Uhura take command of the Enterprise? Just during Trivia Day. Well, there's a episode in the animated series, The Lorelli Signal, where all the men are basically brainwashed, so the women have to take over. TOS. When did she take over? Did she take over the Enterprise in TOS? I don't even know. Give us the answer, AC Costello. Darth Joel throws in $50. Oh, that is amazing. Super chat. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you.
Well, it's $50 Canadian, so it's like.
No Darth to me.
He says, well, legend. Things gotta have a tailpipe. Always got me good. Thanks for all you two do for us. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that line's just delivered like, things gotta have a tailpipe. It's just, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. She nailed her marks. She did. And I say this for all the... I think we all say it. All the side characters should have been used more in all the films. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how that is. I do think I will make note of her, in a Trek shot doing something cool, because the her character wouldn't need to die for a long time, because she's a lot younger than Bones.
Yeah.
30 years, 40 years younger than Bones, and he was thoroughly old in TNG. So if she's gonna get thoroughly old, that's already into post Nemesis.
Yeah.
So.
AC Costello says, bingo! Trekyards? Nope, just Star Trek the Animated Series, that one episode. Yeah, so the Lorelli signal, or the Lorella signal, whatever it's called. Ha! Garrett Roten, $2. The tribute you made, Captain, was beautiful. I didn't really make it. The picture was James Cawley, who took it on the sets. I added the texts, Hailing Frequencies Closed, and the date, and Remembering Nichelle. But as for the write-up, that was Ian Warrender, one of our moderators, and the actual video was compiled by Fleetpaw Swiftback, or Tyler. I contributed some of the more high-res pictures for that and stuff, but thank you, appreciate it.
Although looking at Memory Alpha, it says that in Picard, because they have a plaque saying what she did after, so apparently she retired the same year the Stargazer was lost.
Oh.
So now I have to have a post-retired. Damn it. But I guess you don't want to spend your entire until death life working. So you could choose not to do that and have a retirement as well.
Yeah. Somebody asked if she met the new Uhura actress from Stranger Worlds, and yes, I believe I saw a picture of those two together. As far as I know, she had met her.
Yeah, that's so recent. I don't necessarily know if she did. I can't say I saw anything.
I think I saw a photo of it, but
there's nice
could
stuff.
Be mistake.
There's nice stuff, obviously, with Zoe.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because my kids then are going to grow up in a world without any of these heroes. Because even if
heroes, though, that's how kids work.
Sure, but they're the definite. If they enjoy sci-fi, as I said to you and Marie earlier, the original 3 Star Wars heroes and the original 6 Star Trek heroes, those are the biggest sci-fi legends of all time currently.
Mm-hmm.
There's no TNG cast is not the same, great, but for whatever reason, 20 years of difference of time, but those are the giants. Those are the Mount Olympus level people, because they were so early in television history that and with such a high quality product, they became a thing. Yes, Lost in Space. You could say those who love Lost in Space, those are heroes too. But they're not on the same. They didn't change the world, right? So
yeah.
Yes, we all have our own heroes, but those are the sci-fi heroes of history.
Yeah.
It's like Stephen Hawking. He's one of the biggest science, not fiction, thinkers of history.
Mm-hmm.
That is not going to change with time. That is still going to be recognized, etc. And so even if my kids are born in
like Albert Einstein,
yeah, still going to be a legend. Yeah. So even if my kids next 3 years and Shatner's still here, who the hell knows? You know what I mean? Even if it's really, really recent, the chance of them getting to meet Shatner is very slim. Before they all just are too ill to walk, because 91 no wheelchair. Holy fuck!
I think this is Samuel's way of saying that him and Marie are expecting a baby soon.
I said 3 years, but okay. But you know what I mean? It's sad to think that. You've obviously had your kids, you've done whatever. Who cares? And they've all had their chance. They're over 20 years each for them. Over 20.
Yeah.
But those are gonna be not around in my kids' generations, and the next generation cast aren't spry either. Somehow Shatner is healthier than Stewart. Despite the health difference, you'd think could be radically,
It's that deal with the devil he made, I tell you.
Well, he'll be the last one. I say every time. He'll be 99, 100, and they'll all have gone, and he'll be.
He always knew he would never die alone, so they all have to die first, so he can be alone as far as a cast member goes, and then he can die. Professor Rince though asked, "Does my earpiece work?" like a Bluetooth job. No, I wish. This is just a static prop made of aluminum. But yeah, one of these in Bluetooth would be amazingly cool. Somebody needs to develop one. One company, I'm looking at you.
Just don't delay it by 3 years.
Oh, good God, yeah.
Notice Joker.
Shatner has Canadian blood in him. That's the secret to his success. You say that, but so did James Doohan. So
I would love to meet James Doohan. He seemed like such a lovely guy.
he was, from what I remember when I signed my book, yeah. But like I said, I was young. I didn't know what to ask, or I was like, oh my God, you're signing my book. It was one of those, and you walk away, and you're like, oh Jesus.
Because I know I know I've got very few of those milestones, but I did see Walter Koenig when he still had hair, when he was still doing his wig, his toupee. So I did get to meet Koenig looking Koenig before he became bald. Then he became old man Koenig.
Yeah, which not a good look, I must say.
Yeah. Just keep the wig on.
Just keep wigging. And the ironic thing is, he started TOS with a wig because they wanted like that Beatles or the Monkees kind of look, and he didn't have his hair long enough, so he had a wig for the first bit of his appearance in TOS. Then he finally grew his hair out. And, yeah. Well, Doohan's son is still around. Yes, we've talked to Chris a few times, and he's a good guy. We hung out with him at the Voodoo Lounge, at the top of the one hotel that one night. That was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always wish things you've had, but then you realize the things you've actually done. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. We've done some amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm. 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 But I can, I guess we're sort of almost there, so I can tell my version of the story of meeting her. Actually, talk to her briefly. Yeah. So we're in the, so she's doing Vegas. It's the last day, I believe, and she's still going, and we sort of opted everything else first because I had limited funds. I wanted to get as many as I could, but we did what we could there. I said now's the right time because we had to get prints from the. It's like 30 minutes to get to it back. It's a whole faff to get the print. So it's like once you go get something, you're committed for like an hour basically. But I said, yeah, the Nichelle's next. So we got in the queue.
The line wasn't that long at the time either.
It wasn't. I think they were trying to keep it short as well.
Yeah.
I think it was like we don't want to overload it. It was longer earlier. We went at a really good time, which I tend to be lucky. I tend to sort of plan and get a good time.
And I was with him through this whole thing, so just picture me beside him as he tells the story.
Yes. So I'm in work mode, and I've got the prints, and then I'm like, yes, we'll do the objective, and however she's going to be, because I expected her to be not too well, whatever, it'll still be nice. Whatever we're here, she's here, we're going to do it, we'll have this moment. And we talked to her sister, I believe it was, her younger sister, great, lovely. And obviously we are a bit more personable in that we've got this community, we chat to such people, so we more engaged talking to her, and that was quite a fun thing, and she liked what we're doing, and that was nice. And got to meet the son, who may or not be a good guy, we don't know. That whole thing. But we get to the front of the queue, and she's, frail looking, but still has a smile. And given that, from your perspective as an audience member, or as the attendee, you're waiting, here's the moment. You have, lucky 30 seconds, right? And you're waiting the anticipation, but for the actor, they've had somebody, you get 1 second of reset, friendly again, start the conversation again. And it's a reset, and if you don't be happy, they don't remember you as being happy. It's you don't realize how difficult it is until you've done the other side, where you have to reset each time. It takes a lot out of you, because you're always trying to be, they'll expect the best from you, but you've done your best for 20 people in a row, 80 people in a row, 100 people in a row, oh my god, right? But I was shocked how, in the moment she was. And I get my prints out, and she's, those are nice. I mean, low voice and looking, but she's there, she's looking, she says, oh, those are nice, and I made them myself, and she registers it, she's like, that's very impressive. And I show her where to sign, and she's a very slow signer, because, as I said earlier, she signs her full name, gorgeous penmanship. I mean, considering that she, in theory, could have, the arthritis, the shake arthritis, and oh my god, couldn't tell she wasn't in her 20s sort of sign. No, it's too good for 20s, because the experience of, 60 years. And
I can actually show the... I don't know if you get your printout for this, but I have
no idea what it is. Yeah. And that's a big print. That's a big thing to sign. I forgot it was that big.
Yeah, and she didn't hit the Enterprise at all. She kept it right underneath
Yeah,
the saucer.
to me, all the things.
Yeah,
To
it
me is the
says
important bit.
to Samuel, blessings always and in all ways, Nichelle Nichols.
And that's a real thought to say that. And I'm able to
Mhm.
talk to her while she's doing it. Enjoy doing, take some pictures. I think the brother says, or the son says it was okay. And she's engaged. She's smiley. I think I shake her hand. I think I do. And you can kind of tell she still felt she was there in that moment. Yes, she might have a short-term memory loss, all the other things, but there was something about she was there. She was with you. And we all know older people, we all know grandparents, we know when the vibe isn't there. And we're not projecting. Like, she was still there. She was still able to have those 20 seconds of genuine interest and genuine appreciation because she this was who she was. Signed it, beautiful, glorious, thanked her, walked away, and it's like, that went phenomenally well. That could not have gone better. It's like, whatever happens, that's the thing. I've got George, I've got George, I've got all four. So I've got all four of the Last Legends, all to me signed, their ship, and an Enterprise. I don't know if I've got George both or just Excelsior. Probably both. I can't remember. So I've got all the four signed the Enterprise to me. That's really important. And not to Shatner for a second, but Shatner didn't personalise for a long time. And the fact they personalised for us at that event was a big deal because I didn't no expectation he was going to personalise. So I have a genuinely to me. Because I don't want to resell them. These aren't about, I could buy a sign from anywhere. But if it's actually to me, it's worthless to everyone else. But it's still, I don't care to anyone else. It's for me. So that was real special.
And yeah, the talking to her sister, because her sister was kind of like back a bit from the table, but like at the front of the line essentially. So you move up from there to go to the table. And the people in front of us were like talking to her and stuff, and we just had a nice long chat with her sister, and it was a very nice experience actually.
Yeah, what was your third person looking like? Because I was very focused on trying to make it a good focused moment. What was your her face and her reactions and?
It was good. She was very happy and she was very engaged in what you were saying too. Like she was doing this to hear you better. Because you were talking about the ships and stuff, and I do have a video of it. It is in my captain's log. I'd have to go find that, but not that you can really see them well. But here's her signing it.
And that's all pictures priceless as well, because that not most celebrities don't necessarily want to do, and that's because even though it's my print, it's our show. That's the real legend signing our real thing.
There she is trying to hear you better.
Yeah, you always have to try and talk in a different way with the actors because American accent reset each time it's hard for them, so I did a good job. I slowed down. Bold thing, it was couldn't have gone better. So I'm very happy about
that. And like I said, there's a little video clip of that because I did ask permission if I could do video while she was signing, and they said yes. So
we know, very gracious.
I got you, and then her signature, and then her signing, and it was very well. It was a very fun little time. And
it was a good Vegas, and you don't appreciate how good it was till after, because obviously it hasn't. The Vegas after that wasn't really a thing, and they'll never. That was the last big Vegas, so.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've heard nobody that said Chicago was a better Vegas than Vegas.
Chicago was not great.
So
and I feel bad because some people, it was their first convention, the Chicago one. And
many people it was.
I'm like, this is great, and I'm like, it's not though.
All right.
Let's see. Preston M throws in $5. I don't remember meeting Mr. Dewan. I was too young, but my parents brought me with them and had a Scotty plate signed by him. Yeah, very cool. Wow. All right, 174 votes on that poll. And 80% of you loved Nichelle. 20% disliked.
There was no third option.
No. I said just liked, not disliked.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen any of the fan films she's been in, I suggest go watching, especially of Gods and Men, like Samuel said.
That's her one.
It's kind of led by her, because I remember that now. It starts out with her talking to, was it Jake Sisko? Or something?
Nope.
Who was she talking? A Vulcan?
No, it starts
Talking to
her
somebody.
starts her on the Enterprise B talking to Koenig and Alan Ruck, and then once the universe gets swapped, she's talking to Spock on Vulcan with a Vulcan husband, alternate husband.
Yes.
I still wish it wasn't all alternate, obviously, because there'd be more. But that first scene's phenomenal. I mean, her in the uniform, etc.
Eric Martin, $5. Have to get back to work, but thanks for doing this, guys. Well, thank you for joining us, Eric, and yeah, get back to work, man. Get your aspect issue.
And it is one of those things that, you know, they are gone now, but they're not forgotten, and because of the mark, she's never going to be forgotten. And the advantage of being an actor, your material is going to be out there forever. And something like that, I mean, how many soap operas exist that aren't even on DVD, that aren't on streaming, they've never gone anywhere? And then they've got, you know, the TOS, which will always be, you know, kept in the vaults of man's history. And, you know, I mean, maybe in like 100 years it'll be seen to be extremely racist and horrible, and then society will rebounce back and say, oh no, it was, guys, appreciate what it was. Again, depends how bad our society is right now. But it was phenomenal, and, you know.
Guys, honestly, another $10 would be an awesome number to end up on. It'd be our minimum. So if anybody has a $10 super chat they want to throw our way, or a couple fives, would be amazing. Yeah. Right now, Eric has that last super chat slot. So if anybody wants it.
I'll show the picture that I found. Apologies to my face. I got better at not smiling, because smiling is not my forte. This is a picture from many years ago. My only picture with Nichelle Nichols. This is quite a while before, and Stuart's not saying it before, this is quite a while before she actually got ill, so you can see it's even a little bit dark in her hair. But it, you know, post my liking Stargate, not a great hair day, but yeah, very, very bad face. I'm going to have to try and Photoshop that is. But she looks phenomenal. And I do remember this because she was sat down, obviously. She's not that small. I do remember walking in and, you know, busy, obviously. I hadn't done that many of them, probably in the realm of 10 or so, 15 or so. So for me, that's not that many. I've done a lot. And I remember she sat down and she has a beaming smile, and she was every single person she was saying hello and goodbye to, and you can see she grabbed my jacket because she said, no, you come in closer, because she was kind of like letting people hug her, but I wasn't necessarily inclined. She's like, no, come in here. And sort of like brought me into her, and then grabbed me to kind of make sure I stayed as part of the body language, and that's the picture I got.
That's awesome.
Yeah, apart from my face, it's great. I've definitely aged into my face a bit, I think.
It's like every Trekyards episode ever. Besides your face, they're great. So.
And besides your voice and intelligence.
Wow, there you go. My
But I always, you know, the convention circuit got busier and busier. And so this, you can tell the crystal clear clarity of the photo. They often did worse photos, so I'm also glad it was a high-end one. But I didn't get a meet her at the table because she was fine. She was great. We didn't think to necessarily. Wish I had. We did for Walter, and that's kind of because I think that was like our second convention. We thought, well, let's do all the things, but we got a bit more, you know, focused on Stargate, etc.
Very nice picture, man. Charles Williams, $5 Australian, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Favorite Uhura scene from Star Trek 6. This is fantasy. You want adventure? How's this? The old adrenaline going? Huh? Good boy. Now get in the closet. Glad you're on our side. Can you handle Mr. I'll have Mr. Adventure in my hands. And I'll see all of you at the rendezvous.
Yes. Yeah, I also love that she always wore Star Trek memorabilia.
Yeah.
Always did. So this was taken June 2012.
Wow.
So the date of the apocalypse. I got to meet Nichelle Nichols.
Nice.
10 years ago. So that's an interesting thought, isn't it? 10 years later, she wasn't here anymore.
There's a lot of weird stuff lining up. Like I said, today was the day that she signed the prince. So.
That's a weird thing to consider.
Yeah. Darth Joel.
I've done a lot in 10 years. Only 10 years. That's wow. Okay.
Darth Joel throws in $10 with no comment, but thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Although,
so thank you.
As I always say, that in itself is a comment of thank you. So we thank you for your thank you.
It is absolutely. spending your hard-earned money just to
Make sure we keep going. Yeah.
As thanks for us doing what we do. So we appreciate that so much.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, Matthew, no, that was a really bad pitch. I have varying degrees of good pictures, and that is a bad picture of me.
Yeah.
But now I can digitally improve myself, so. Maybe I'll digitally age myself so I don't look more like myself now.
It's always worth messing with history.
Only if it's how you remember it. But yeah, no, I think that's an hour and a bit. I think we aimed over an hour with our minimum. That is amazing. Tomorrow, and in fact, this is somewhat poignant in a sense, we're going to be interviewing Ray Tessie of the Star Trek sets, the filming sets in the United States of America. Ray Tessie, he owns Neutral Zone Studios. So that is the Star Trek Continue / Farragut recreations of the sets. We're
That's in Georgia, right?
Georgia, yes. Which are in fact the last sets she ever filmed on for a Star Trek doc. So that was Nichelle's last location she ever filmed for us, and I've seen some bad scenes of that, and she did a doc there. Hasn't been released for many a reason, but hopefully will now be released. Talking to him about the sets and about his current crowdfunding project, The Test of Time. It's a 28th century time travel film that happens to take place in the TOS era. It's not really a TOS film because it just happens to be in the TOS era. You know, it's like, is Trials and Tribulations a TOS episode? No.
Yeah.
It's not an episode. Boy, that's actually quite good. You kind of win the argument when you do that, don't you? It's a strong argument.
Bill Barkley, are you going to cover the Cassian Andor trailer or review breakdown? Probably not. I watched it today, and it's like, I don't know. I'll watch the show, but I'm just really not interested in the Andor show, honestly.
Well, as I saw trailers, I was super excited by it.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff there, but we'll see. It'll probably be really great.
It looked like a real show, Stuart. Like it didn't look like a look, we're doing Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look, we're doing this. Look, actual show. Apart from he's dead, but apart from that, I love seeing the Senate. I love seeing the Clone Troopers. No, I thought it was very creative. And the director said no LED walls. We're doing it real. I was like, okay, good. Wow. They built real sets. You could tell there's a certain real, even the green screen looked more real, and that it's like there's depth to it. So this is the film that we'll be talking about. We'll show the Indiegogo video. Talk about the film.
The said,
oh, look, there I am.
That was time.
Wow, that's funny. I happened to find myself. So yeah, time travel.
That'll be tomorrow. We'll have him on board to talk live, so you guys can ask him questions in live, real time.
Yes, and this is. I mean, I've read the script. Yeah, I'm VFXing it, so I have experience with it. And we've done a few of these with Farragut and etc. Interesting idea. This has not been done before, even by me. And if you're just interested in, what's it like to own Star Trek sets, the only Star Trek sets of the ilk that are the size that you can film on, that's the guy we're getting. Like, not the director of the film, not the producer, the owner of the sets and the guy that invented the film. So that'll be tomorrow, same time, same place, to promote Indiegogo and to see if it get made, because the more they get, the more films they can make, the more films they can make, the more things they can make fuel. It's a well-fulfilling thing. So that'll be tomorrow, which will be fun, and
awesome.
And hopefully I can announce, check out for the Trekyards page. I'll hopefully be announcing my next film's release very, very soon. I could have announced today, but I thought let's not announce some really positive news the day after. So I'll try and announce it tomorrow, and then get out for you all. Very excited for you all to see it.
Well, until next time, which is tomorrow. He is Commander Calkins.
He is Captain Foley, and
rest in peace, Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah, you are.
Hailing
amazing.
frequencies closed.
Bye, guys.